Hi, this is Nicole, and today I want to talk about birthing you. So, going through a situation where I am becoming me, I have been having to go through the process of becoming me, which means that I have to get rid of all the old patterns of the things that I was doing before. I've emotionally been eating. I've ignored myself, not doing self care, like not going out with friends, not exercising, not taking time for myself, all those type of things. And so, one of the things that I have done to not be me is to not listen to my own voice. So, when it comes to that, lately, my children are in the background burping, as you can hear. When it comes to that, say excuse me. When it comes to that, being me and listening to my own voice, it's like a birthing process. Earlier today, I had a decision to make. Like one of my children had an appointment, and my husband was saying that he felt he shouldn't go to the appointment. He felt he shouldn't go to the appointment. I felt he should go to the appointment for whatever reason. So we both had different points of view, but um, we both had valid points because there was a reason that he should go to the appointment and there was a reason that he shouldn't go to the appointment. And so we basically, I ended up deciding that I was going to take him to the appointment. And, you know, in the past, I've known my husband for years and we've been codependent. You need your cup? We've been, we've been codependent. Um, Hold on a second. I don't see your cup. Oh, here it is. We were codependent in the past. So one of the things I've had to work through with him is me finding my own voice and being myself. Since we've been together for so many years, we've gone through all the process and we've, gone through a lot of things together of birthing our own selves. One of the things that I'm having to fully walk into a different phase of is having someone else's opinion be expressed and I disagree with it and do what I need to do anyway. And I've done that a million times before. Like I've not like I haven't done that. But what happened is in my childhood I had a situation where basically I had a codependent situation where it's like you're learning how to basically be dependent on your family for your opinions. You're learning how to be a people pleaser because there was this emotional unavailability and there's alcoholism and different things like that and a lot more. But because of that, it created a situation where I became dependent on other people's points of view and ignored my own and negated my own and became a people pleaser. Well, I've worked through that type of thing, but now is a wholly different phase, which is stepping into the part again. This is a different level. I've been through this like 15,000 times. A different level of listening to yourself, even when the other person might have a great point of view. Because my husband was saying he should go to school, and I'm like, well, no, I think this appointment is more important. My husband had a valid point. I mean, it's a very good point, but I disagreed. And so, what happened is I had an actual physical reaction in my body because I've had this thing where I wanted, not necessarily approval, but like there's times I wanted approval, but now it's not approval. It's just that it's like I have to push through to ignore the part that disagrees with somebody, with certain people sometimes, because there are times when I feel like, well, I actually agree with my husband. I thought that he should go to school too, but then I actually still thought that I was right as well, that he should go to the appointment. Because the appointment was going to take months for me to go make again if he didn't go. So anyway, the point is that the reaction that I had, because I'm changing my life and focusing on what I think is right, not what other people think is right, is a physical reaction on the inside. It was actually like a physical shaking, like, okay, no, you're going to make a decision. This is what you're going to decide. And this is what you have to do. There's a part of me that didn't agree with that. There's a part of me that did. But, there are times when I have to push through and make a decision that is maybe not the most comfortable thing in the world and still do it anyway. And that's scary at times because this means that you're kind of like out on your own, making your own decisions about certain things. And that, based on it being a recovering people pleaser from the past, is can be challenging. So I'm hoping somebody else out there understands what I'm talking about when it comes to the birthing process of you. Like, you actually have to be reborn. You actually have to come out, like the birthing process. You come out you're in your parents, your mother's womb for like however long, and then you come out, and there's a process that you actually have to come out. Excuse me. Well, that's extremely uncomfortable because it's not like labor is like, oh, just walk through the breeze. It's just going to be comfortable. It's just going to be so easy, and there's no pain at all. And you just walk on through. No, it hurts. It hurts like a lot. It hurts a whole lot, and it's painful, and it's like torture. And there's a recovery process, and there's just like all of these different things you have to talk differently, like everything you have to. Everything's just it's hard. It's hell. Okay, it's just hell. Anyway, got diverted there a little bit, but it's the same process here. When it comes to birthing you. When it comes to birthing you, you really have to be committed to the process, or else you're going to keep going backwards. I know I'm going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And with every back and forth, I go forth a little bit more because I'm not trying to stay back where I was before. So I have to keep on realizing that, the goal is for me to be the best self that God made me to be, period. Everything else is just extra. Like, God made me to be a certain person, and the goal is to be that person. I've realized I haven't been that person, and that's where the problem has come in. And that's where the frustration has come in for me, is not being that person that I have always wanted to be. And now is the time where I have to be that person. I know who that person is. I know who she looks like. I know how she acts. I know what she does. I know what she's capable of. But now it requires time to actually be her. And that's the part that I'm stepping into now, is being her. And that is not comfortable. And that caused a physical, visceral reaction today in my being when I'm trying to decide, well, which decision am I going to go with? And it's happened before. I mean, it's happened multiple times, not the first time it happened. Where I'm like, well, wait, what about, his opinion, my opinion, my mom's opinion, my opinion, the school's opinion, the doctor's opinion, my opinion, whatever opinion it might be. It's not just those people, like my mom, my brother, my sister, it's just it's the world. Like, a doctor says that this is what's best for your child, and I'm like, well, no, I don't agree with that. And I have to push through. And I did it with my son, where they thought this is the best place for him to go, the best school, and I'm like, well, no, I disagree. And so I had to fight for that. And I'm used to fighting, but there are times when it's a little more scary to do it than others, because you're pushing back on something that you feel is very uncomfortable and a little bit scary. So I'm hoping that this helps somebody to understand that when you're coming through the birthing process of you, the birthing you process, that it's not easy. It's totally worth it, but it's not easy. And on the other side, I hope that we all can laugh about this and be like, we got through. But for the moment, sometimes it's just tough. And I made the right decision. I took my son to the appointment, and I know I made the right choice, because there was a sense of peace with it. If I had gone the other direction, it would have been like really chaotic, and just not, it would have been a lot more chaos with that. And I wouldn't have felt at ease with that decision. But I'm making decisions based on what I know and feel is right. And if I make a bad choice, then I'll make amends and say I'm sorry, and make a better choice next time. But there's a wobbling part, like when baby horse comes and they're trying to figure out how to walk, and they're like wobbling, and you're like, oh, they're like wobbling, they're standing there with the little legs, and they're like, ooh, and they're falling down and getting up, like when babies are walking and horses are walking, or whoever, learn how to walk. It's like, okay, am I making the right choice? Am I making the right choice? Sometimes you're making just good decisions, sometimes you're making bad decisions, but you just have to make the decision regardless, and go with what you decide. So hopefully this helps somebody on their journey to success. Bye. Love you guys.